Hello again, and welcome to Two Friends and an Owl. Wait, here, let me show you the owl.
You don't see his face.
We get together. This is my friend Jeanette. I'm Timmie.
I'm Jeanette.
We're a little discombobbled today. We get together and we like to expand our brains and talk about different topics. And we each put different topics that we thought would be fun to talk about. I don't know what hers is, and she doesn't know what mine are, but we usually talk about all this stuff anyway. It's all intertwined. But today we are going to talk about
Want a rabbit out of the hat.
winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Okay, this one is people don't have problems, they have emotions.
Okay.
That's the topic. That's clarity at its finest. No, I'm kidding. So let's see. I was trying to remember why that came to me. I guess because I'm one of those people who always thought that problems needed to be solved. You know, that was part of my need to control my entire adult life was it's a problem, you got to solve the problem. And I've always been kind of in that mode. And over the last few years, it has kind of, I think with our brain shift at menopause, you know, that kind of midlife brain shift, I started realizing, you know, even the problems that I used to think were in my life, say with kids and all those things, my kids really didn't even have problems. Life doesn't have very many problems. It's that we have emotions. And I never really handled life that way. So it was quite a revolutionary idea for me.
What do you mean by problems?
Well, everything seemed for me, I can only from my perspective, everything seemed like a problem. Like if we didn't get up on time, it was a problem. If the kids didn't have their teeth brushed on time, it was a problem. If they were late running out to get the bus, it was a problem. Literally everything was a problem. It was a problem to be solved. And I guess I just lived my life that way because of that first fear. You know, I'm obviously a very fearful person. You know, I didn't realize I was, but when you look at my life and how I've handled things, a lot of fear. And with that fear came the thought that I needed to do something to fix. Again, I wasn't seeing it as fear, I was seeing it as a problem. I was just seeing everything in life as a problem. And it was fascinating to really think about, wait, what if they were never problems? What if they were just emotions? And in the moment, that's a very different solution. You know, that's a very different thought to the term solution. None of them needed to be solved, you know? If the kids were late for school and it was making me worry or feel anxious, dealing with anxiety is vastly different than trying to solve a problem that didn't even exist, you know? And so my kids were raised in a house where their mother was running around like a chicken, you know, trying to solve problems. And they were probably sitting there the whole time trying to figure out what I was actually doing. Like, what does life even mean? Because whatever she's doing is crazy.
Well, and I guess I'm wondering, because I have it kind of wired in my brain as thoughts create emotions. And for the most part, I mean, if someone jumps out and scares me, my brain's not going to have this thought, oh, I'm scared now. It's just going to automatically react. But is it a problem because what we're thinking about that situation?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that thought about that situation is what actually elicits the emotions of fear or worry or anxiety, and how what we deem a problem is just because we think it's a problem and what we say about it.
Right. Yeah. And there's a lot of right now people, for myself, I see a lot of times people like say online, you're online and you're looking at a thread and you know, maybe something comes across and maybe it's a comment like, I got on this page thinking it was going to be this, and now that I'm here and I see what you people are all talking about, I'm just out of here, you know, something similar like that. Again, that to me is someone who is essentially believing that there's a problem to be solved, when in reality, they were just having an emotion. And get out of the page or not, that's not really the issue. It's, I don't think that post solved their emotion though. You know what I mean? It might have solved their idea of a problem, although obviously it wasn't a problem anyway, because a page is not affecting your life.
Or a
But
post, yeah.
yeah, but things like that, I see that a lot. And I guess I see that and mirror that internally, thinking, okay, that truly is the same as what I have spent my life solving problems, you know, problems in my own life. I've done that my whole life as far as my adult life. Um, probably because of that fearful. I was fearful enough, but not knowing enough about what I could do otherwise. I didn't really figure out the other coping skills. So I kind of just kept going down that, it's a problem, solve it. It's a problem, solve it. It's a problem, solve it. And I didn't really stop long enough to think all those problems I was solving, one, weren't solved. Two, they weren't problems, you know.
Mhm.
And three, I didn't get to their emotions part.
Right. And
And
I guess I'm, you're saying emotions and I'm thinking of it differently. Cause what if the problem is just our thoughts?
well, it is, but the solution is just knowing that we have emotions. So those two things are probably almost like a one side of the coin. Yes, the thought obviously causes the emotion,
Right.
but we can just accept that it's an emotion and the whole thing goes away. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't. Cause I guess in my brain, it's wired differently is if I can think a different thought,
Right.
then the problem goes away. And the thought, that's how I have it wired for me is there's a thought before an emotion for me, typically, not the other way around. So I think for me, the step for solving problems is this really a problem? If it is, that's great. I can do something about it. But if it's not, what am I thinking about it that's making a problem? Or what am I thinking? I guess I just have it connected in my brain that it's more of a thought. I guess for me, it would be more people don't have problems, they have thoughts. That's how I have it lined up. Yeah, yeah.
And that
And that's totally fine that we have it
No,
lined up
yeah,
differently. That's just
yeah.
how my brain's taking it.
I was just thinking of programmed thoughts though are not conscious thoughts. So I guess
Definitely,
that for me is
definitely.
where
Ooh, and
the
that's where the emotion can be like, ooh, what thought am I thinking?
right.
Yeah,
Usually we have to hit the emotion part of it before we can understand I was even having a thought, because the thoughts are so under our awareness generally. I mean, you know, 95% of our thoughts are, or at least 90, are subconscious. They're programmed things
hmm,
that we're not even aware of. And because of that, we hit the emotion before we feel the discomfort, you know, like I had the thought, yeah, but it step 10 past that before I went, oh, wait, I'm
yeah.
having a thought.
That definitely took practice for me. That's where the whole self-awareness
Yes.
came in because I had so much practice at, oh, wait a second. I'm feeling angry right now. I felt my heart palpitate. This is just a scenario. I don't feel angry right now. Um, heart was palpitating, shallow breathing. I'm feeling hot. I can tell my thoughts are racing. What was the thought? But I've had enough practice at that.
Right.
I almost can catch myself. Ooh, these thoughts are going to lead me in a different direction that I choose not to be. And I want to choose which direction I want to go. I don't want it to become a problem.
Right.
So I'm choosing to think something else. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we also, in a life, in each of our individual lives, there are subjects where we can have those experiences and we catch them faster, that they're softer for us.
Right.
But we generally also usually have aspects of our lives where we cannot
Right.
follow that.
Yeah.
Like certain things will always push us over the edge faster because we're not as practiced at it, and some patterns are deeper
Right. Right.
and
Yeah.
more entrenched.
And that's when it's like,
Yes.
oh, there's an emotion there. What was
Mhm.
the thought behind
Right.
that is making this a problem?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, the problem is definitely fabricated. I mean, that was certainly the realization that I got to was, I just started looking at daily life and how everything just seemed like a problem. And really what it was is everything that caused me to feel fear or anxiety or worry, I made a problem by thinking about it that way. Do you know what I mean?
Like I shouldn't be feeling this.
Yes, that, and oh, I have to solve it. I have to do something. Again, it's that external. It was a way for me um to not get to the real work, because the real work was the emotional work or the thought process
Right.
work. It was a way to kind of subvert that and think, oh, I've got to control more of that external environment. I have to do more to control that. Yeah. And then you look back on it and you go, wow, literally probably 99% of the fires that I was putting out every day were not fires at all.
Yeah.
They were just my emotional fluctuation that I was so not wanting to look at, you know?
I find it fascinating that yours was fear. Mine was more of a um, not loving myself. Like, oh, I shouldn't have this emotion. I'm having this emotion. I need to change. I need to figure it out and change because I'm not supposed to have this emotion. I'm going to read this self-help book and I'm going to, listen to this and I'm going to hear this and I need to change. I'm going to journal it out. Journal, journal, journal. Cause so it wasn't so much a fear. It's just like, I'm not okayness for me. Yours went to fear. It sounds like mine went to, I'm not okay. This needs to change because this feeling is not okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And in that process, we end up working things in our lives that really don't have the right value. I mean, they just don't make a difference. I know you and I being friends and knowing each other, there's times in your life, there's times in my life where I know that we felt like we were solving a problem,
Mhm.
that quote unquote problem, when in reality, all we were doing was we just weren't yet at the emotion. We weren't yet at the bottom line of whatever it
We were
was.
growing. Yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of end up wasting a lot of time, but at the same time learning, but kind of spinning your wheels, I guess. Spinning your wheels in a situation or in a problem in your mind and not really getting to the bottom line. So I guess that's why that idea was fun for me, because I still catch myself in it's a problem to solve. If someone else has maybe a negative feeling or reaction to something, I instantly go to that, oh, shift the external environment. And then I have to think, wait, wait. So I'm still playing the game of this isn't a problem. I'm having an emotion about whatever they just said or about whatever just happened. And they're having an emotion about whatever that
Mhm.
was. And so it's interesting to think about that they're not problems, they're emotions that we're we're just trying to sort out, or thoughts, thoughts that we're trying to catch before the emotions.
Mhm.
Either way, they're still not problems. They're still not the problems the way that we think they are in our external world.
Yeah.
So that's why I wrote that.
Yeah.
I thought it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel complete on this one?
Yep.
All right. Well, until next time, may you have emotions and not problems, or thoughts and not problems.
Have
And-
thoughts about your emotions.
Yeah,
instead
they
of-
have,
instead of thoughts about problems.
and choose the thoughts about your emotions that you want to have that are not problematic.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.